Three, Chris. The number's 3. 3%. That's the pressure rate from the defense on Trevor Lawrence in week 1. 3% of his dropbacks.
That doesn't sound
3%.
good to me.
No. It's not good at all.
Does not sound good to me whatsoever.
You know what? It was also the 3rd worst percentage in the NFL in week 1.
Who are the other two who were worse?
Oh, the ones that were worse, actually, Detroit actually at 0%, and then Atlanta at 2.7%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
I believe Atlanta, but wow.
Yeah, there's that. But you know what? There's a lot to talk about. Let's get this sucker started.
Get dialed in, Panthers fans. Here comes an in-depth look at your team. Exclusive interviews. Locker room insight. Let's huddle up for Panthers Playbook. Here are your hosts, Dennis Cox and Chris Lea.
Welcome back to another episode of Panthers Playbook. That's Chris Lea. Dennis Cox here with you. Leave your thoughts going into week number 2 against Arizona. Have you cooled down a little bit? Have things changed? Has your outlook changed any a little bit? Because Chris, I know you and I talked about it during the offseason and training camp and I had to remind myself a little bit of this as well during the week, was that I had to make sure I tempered my expectations going into the year, because there's still a lot of new pieces, still some really young pieces on this team. And let's be honest, there's still a lot of room for this team to grow. So again, I had to temper my expectations. I didn't think I needed to temper them that much for week 1. And I think that's where a lot of Panthers fans are feeling as well, that, hey, a loss to Jacksonville, I think would have been fine as long as the team looked competitive. And we didn't get any of that this past Sunday.
Yeah. I will say that I have cooled down just a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
I think I've been able to look at it and say, like, first off, it was still bad. I'm not going to give
it was still awful.
Not going to give them any passes on that.
None.
But as far as the outlook, I'm not going to carry too much over into this one game, because I'm not going to look at it as a trend unless it's a trend, right?
Mm-hmm.
I do think it's a trend that Bryce Young, to start the season, is a turnover machine, because, well, we've seen that 3 straight times.
We have.
But as far as like the team in general playing bad in the year of 2025, we only have one regular season game to go off of. So I'm not going to make something out of it. Here's one thing, though, that gives me a little bit of solace, if you will, about this game. This is the same team adding in Tepper McMillan, Rico Dowdle, which I didn't think he was used enough or effectively in the last game, but that's another subject.
No.
And on defense, of course, Princely and Nick Scorton, they weren't used enough as well. And Pat Jones and a better defensive line. This is a same team with those added pieces that beat the Arizona Cardinals late last season in that walk-off in overtime. That game was at Bank of America Stadium. This game is going to be in Arizona, so that will make a little bit of a difference. But if this team, shows up the way that they're supposed to, the way that we know that they can, because we saw it, I actually think this could end up being a good game for the Carolina Panthers. Again, I wouldn't be upset if they lost. Like, I'm not upset about the loss from past Sunday. I'm upset with the lack of execution and them getting blown out once again to start the season. So I have a little bit of confidence in what they can do versus the Arizona Cardinals. I just hope they don't bring any of that bad juju with them from Jacksonville.
So it's interesting you bring that up about what they can do, what they're capable of, at least what people think going into the season, what this team is capable of doing. And I think this is, to me, all right, Dave Canales, okay, Ejiro Evero, okay, Bryce Young, okay, Trevin Wallace, okay, Xavier Legette, prove something this week. Prove it this week. Like, can you actually do it? Because to quote J. Cole, Chris, fool me one time, shame on you. Fool me twice, can't put the blame on you. Fool me 3 times,
load the chopper, let it rain. Oh, sorry.
Exactly. I didn't
go
want
in.
to finish the quote.
I was about to go in.
But anyway, my part on that is that, for example, you brought up the defense with all the new pieces that were added in. Turk Wharton, he's going to be, he got hurt during the game. He's going to miss 2 to 4 weeks. But you brought in him, Bobby Brown, Derrick Brown's back, Pat Jones is brought in, Christian Rosebroom brought in, Trayvon Merrick brought in. You drafted second, third, fourth round defensive players and fifth round defensive players that barely got used. Cam Jackson didn't even play on Sunday. But it looked exactly the same as it did last season. You had all these new pieces and everything looked exactly the same. Everything looked exactly the same. That's the thing that's frustrating for a lot of people, including myself, because this is a trend that's, you talk about trends. I know it's just week 1 of this season, but 7 straight games of giving up 200+ yards rushing. I know there's some scrambles and stuff in there. Well, a 71-yard run. Well, guess what? You still gave up a 71-yard run. That didn't happen by accident. And you have a journeyman and free safety and Nick Scott. Like, Damani Richardson didn't play one single defensive snap. So again, my question is, I'll go specifically defensive start. What's different? What is different from last year to this year other than the new bodies that are there? What really is different? Because through week 1, I saw much of the same thing. And let's be honest, people will talk about, in 2023, the defense was great. The defense actually wasn't that great in 2023. Really wasn't. It's terrible in the red zone. Still never got to the quarterback, even though you have Frankie Louvu, Derrick Brown, and Brian Burns.
It was a more bend don't break defense.
It was much more bend don't break. But
last year they broke.
Oh, they
all
snapped.
the time.
They snapped. But
all the time.
And even in 2023, their red zone touchdown percentage defensively was one of the worst in the NFL. So they couldn't get stops in the red zone either. So again, what is that? Can you show us something different on defense as opposed to the wide gaping holes that we saw Trevor Etienne run through?
Yeah.
Or is it Travis? I can't remember. One of the Etiennes.
I don't know.
Anyway.
I don't know, man. Yes, I'm 100% with you.
I wish Trevor Etienne ran 71 yards because that would have been for the Panthers. But no, Travis, my apologies.
Yes, that's something that I'll be looking at as well. You would hope that the defense takes a step up because that's pretty much what they focused on, right? Remember when we came into 2024 and they focused on the offensive line and you saw immediately great returns on that as well. Yeah. We didn't see that immediately on defense. And so this is where I feel like, honestly, just to be real, again, I don't like to, call for people's jobs. I just kind of feel that the first few weeks of the season, like Ejiro Evero is really coaching for his job right now, because it's going to be up to him. Like we've gone out over the last few years. It's not just this past offseason even though this past offseason, it was more of an emphasis on defense. The last few off seasons, we've signed a lot of new guys for you. Yeah. That fit your scheme, that fit what you wanted to do, right? They've turned over that defense a lot. Like even they signed a lot of guys last year as well. And so we got to, sit back and see what ends up happening and see if this thing can even work, for the Carolina Panthers. And so you have some interesting pieces for the Arizona Cardinals, including trying to contain Kyler Murray. I mean, you get a chance to see Bryce Young, 2 smaller quarterbacks, but Bryce Young ain't running like Kyler Murray. They're built different. They're both shorter, but they're built different. Built very different. Like, he can really pull away from you as well. And if I'm not mistaken, they're coming off of a win over the Saints last week. So they've got some momentum coming into this game as well. And then also you have Marvin Harrison Jr. on the other side too. So a lot for the defense to really look into and make sure that they're containing. Now they know they can do it, right? Because we saw what happened last year, even though they gave up a lot of points and went into overtime, but they stopped them when they needed to stop them to get a win. That's pretty much all we're asking for. Cool. As long if they score 24 points, cool. Hopefully our offense can keep up, but don't let them go over 30. Stop them when you need to stop them is really what I'm looking for.
I think one of the frustrating things as well is about carrying over from the Jacksonville game is that, the defense didn't play great in that game at all. But you think as well, it's like, okay, 26 really isn't that bad. I mean, they got outplayed by Jacksonville. It's not like Jacksonville lit them up, Not like Jacksonville lit them up. So again, I go back to the defense in this regard about, can you get stops? I mean, let's be honest. Since Evero came over as defensive coordinator in 2023, which was the best year defensively for them? 23 or 24? Obvious answer is rhetorical, is 2023, right? Again, I bring up 2023 defense. Worst turnover percentage in the NFL in terms of defense, in terms of number of drives by the opponent ending in turnovers, just 5.5%, dead last of the NFL. You look at pressure percentage. So pressure percentage is equating number of hurries, quarterback knockdowns, and sacks. Those are pressures on a quarterback on number of dropbacks. Third worst in the NFL, 17.2%. Third worst in the NFL. You also go at just sack percentage as a whole, second to last in the entire NFL. Also, most rushing touchdowns allowed in the entire NFL in 2023. Again, people talk about, Derrick Brown, Brian Burns, and Frankie Louvu, and then people, again, talk about last year in the defense. I always say, come back to it. What has changed? So you're talking about, can they get these stops, Chris, this year? I don't know, because there's so much turnover on this defense. I don't know if I can trust them yet. I don't know if you can trust them to get a stop against Arizona, because we never saw a stop last year. Nothing showed us in week 1 that gave us any confidence in that regard.
Here's something that the team's been talking about they've been working on this week, and that's tackling, and that's all defense. And, of course, you can expect tackling to not be at its tip-top shape in the first game of the season. But I want to take this back to a point that Dave Canales made. I can't remember if it was Sunday after the game or Monday, probably Monday. But if you tackle Travis Etienne and he doesn't break off a 71-yarder, and you let some of the other more explosive runs not go too long. I think Trevor Lawrence had something like 10. And I want to say, didn't Brian Thomas have like he had a run?
Yeah, like the end around touchdown run. Yeah.
Yeah. And if you're able to like even just knock those off, like they had 200 yards rushing. Let's say you get Etienne like 1 yard and, tackle him after 1 yard. He doesn't get the rest of the 70. You get, Trevor Lawrence down early or something like that. Like you're automatically knocking off like 80 yards from that. And you're talking about 120 yards rushing. And it does kind of change the complexion of how that game looks in a way. I wonder if that does make a difference in this game, right? With the focus on sure tackling, wrapping up, things like that, and making sure you're bringing the opponent to the ground. I wonder if that happened in last Sunday's game, if we're looking at this defense a little bit different, because maybe that is possibly especially the drive that the 71-yarder happened in, if they're tackling him early, maybe that's a drive where they get off the field if they end up tackling. We don't know, right? Because that's not what happened.
But exactly, it's not. But
you can put yourself in those situations. And look, I'm just trying to look at it from the way the Carolina Panthers are possibly looking at it, in their meeting rooms. If we do this probably doesn't happen. And I wonder if that is the mindset, especially against a team like Arizona that can be explosive in spurts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they got Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver that was a 4th overall pick last year. McBride, the tight end, no joke either. And also got James Conner as a running back. I mean, it's not a pushover of a team. And they did finish basically 500 last year, 8-9. So again, it's a team that's not going to be a pushover for Carolina. But also you carry it over, talk about the what ifs. You go to the offensive side of the ball. Like, well, what if Xavier Legette keeps his foot in bounds? What if? What if he keeps his foot in bounds? What if Hunter Renfrow
throws it on time?
There's that. But there's also like, what if Bryce Young actually throws an accurate ball down the left sideline early in the game to Hunter Renfrow as opposed to leaving it 4 yards short? Mm-hmm. What if? Again, we can what if our things are the game to death.
But those are the tweaks, though.
But again,
I know you're saying like you can't do that, but those are the tweaks that you make, right? When you look at the film and you're like, if this small thing, because we all agree, like the difference in being great or I'll say just good. The difference in being good and just being a bad team in the NFL literally can be the difference between a couple of those throws and a couple of tackles. Like literally that's it.
Yeah.
But that's the game that they're playing right now. They have to be.
Yeah. Oh, for sure.
They have to be.
But the question is, when's the last time we actually saw them consistently do that? Like consistently make those plays.
And what does that come down to?
Execution.
How do you think people get in the right realm of execution? How do you execute the right way?
Players and coaching.
The last word you said.
Coaching.
It's the last word you said.
You know, it's interesting. I saw a couple of people do the film breakdown. Speaking of that 71-yard run by ETN, is that if you actually notice on the play, I even posted on my social media as well, that if you look at the motion pre-snap, you see both Roseboom and Trevin Wallace shift to the left side of the defense, the right side of the offense. And they said, well, if you actually look on the backside where the run play happened, Carolina was just simply outmanned, even before the snap happened. So now it put Trayvon Merrick in a situation where he had to decide, well, okay, do I go outside or inside? Because they were simply outmanned. He goes outside because DJ Wanda was trying to take on the lead blocker. He just throws his body into the lead blocker. It doesn't really actually help to try and make a tackle. But Merrick goes outside, Etienne cuts inside, and there's no one there. Yeah. So that's it. That was a scheme thing. And then Nick Scott can't make the tackle there about 10 yards downfield. So again, that's a coaching and scheme thing as well. They just simply got beat at the point of attack based off scheme. Again, whole bunch of different personnel out there. Now, again, I also would like to see, like you mentioned earlier, Scorton, Numami Ellen, Latham Ransom, some of these young guys actually play. But that is a coaching thing as well. Like it really is. But also some of it also is execution because, put some of it on the players as well. Like Bryce Young, the pass again, the throw down the left sideline to Hunter Renfrow, it's the right play. It's the right read. Yeah. He just has to make the pass.
Has to hit it.
He just has to hit it. Like that's the thing. So there's always going to be a little bit of what if in some of these regards as well, but can they do it? I haven't seen this team consistently do it in a very, very long time, Chris. So that's why I said, like at the beginning of the show, this is a prove it. This is a prove it week. Can you actually make these adjustments, Chris?
Canales did say on Wednesday that the team kind of got testy with each other in practice, and I like it.
Yeah,
I don't want this team. It did feel like in 2022, in 2023, and maybe some other years before that, when the things were going bad, like everybody just folded. It's like, well, I'm getting my game check. Whatever. We're not going to be good this year, right? The fact that these guys are getting testy, because one, I guarantee you, Bobby Brown, Roseboom, Turk Wharton, any of the guys that came in free agency who had other options didn't come here to lose, right? No. The guys who got drafted here understand that they're coming here to be a part of a turnaround. Guys who had opportunities to go to other teams and didn't, Brady Christensen, even though he didn't play, or anybody else who were in those who possibly had opportunities, they didn't come back to lose. We talked about people wanting to be Carolina Panthers, and that was a big difference in before. Some guys were like, that was their only option, and they're coming here to get a check. If they're going to be testy with each other and, in week one, I like it. I just hope that they can keep that fire, because that fire could end up getting them some wins. And now we're talking about execution, and you kind of wonder if now you have situations where maybe your coach doesn't get you ready, but you are, the players kind of put everything on their backs, right? I don't know if you've ever been in a situation like that playing sports where like coach don't really have us ready, but we're going out there with pride and we kind of know what we got to do. Kind of like that. Like, we're not being put in the best position, but like, we're going to try to make this happen.
Yeah.
More of a little league thing for me. But that's a position I've been put in. That's a position that I feel like I've been put in professionally, doing, what I do now, not like right now. Just want to make that clear.
Yeah.
I'm not in that position right now, but I do feel like there's been times where I've been under leadership that doesn't really have you ready, and you have to just go out there and make it happen on your own. These are professional players, and they have that ability to do so. I just hope that they're taking those extra steps to do that.
Oh, yeah. I 100% with you. I've been there as an athlete, playing college lacrosse and everything. I'm like, we weren't ready for this one, but you know what? You try and go out there and do the best you can and try and make it work. And I hope the Panthers can make it work this weekend. I just want a better showing, Chris.
Yeah.
I just simply want a better showing.
Yep.
Prove that you got it.
Yep.
Prove that you got it. Like Derrick Brown said, ain't no time for speeches and rah-rah. We just need to go out there and do it. Okay. And you know what? Panthers fans have been screaming the exact same thing. We don't need rah-rah. We don't need to hear any speeches or any of the whatever. Just go out there and execute and make a damn good game out of this at least. Show that you can do it.
Who needs to step up on each side of the ball?
Each side of the ball? I mean, I'll a couple names you can throw on each side. Bryce is the obvious answer because, again, some of the missed execution on Bryce is the obvious answer. But, man, Xavier Legette, dude. Xavier Legette. Be the number 32 pick. Show that you're number 32 pick. Defensively, Trevin Wallace. Trevin Wallace had a bad game. Just out of position, got caught in the wash. It just, like, for example, the Strange's, the tight end, his touchdown catch that he had was Trevin Wallace got caught staring in the backfield on play action, and Christian Roseboom, you can see his pointing him, like, over there, like, yelling at him. He's just completely loses it. So, yeah, Trevin Wallace on defense for sure.
Here's one thing that I don't think we've talked about a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll make this quick so we can wrap up. I was going to bring up Trevin Wallace, but I think part of that too is Trevin Wallace started off last year with the guidance of Shaq Thompson, who's no longer in the building, of course. He didn't play long last year because he got injured. We know this. But then he also still had Josie Jewell, who was there to help keep him straight. Not that I don't believe in Christian Roseboom, but is Christian Roseboom that guy, right? If Josie Jewell or Shaq Thompson are in the building, and of course Shaq Thompson a little bit younger and a better athlete, that type of thing, does Christian Roseboom have the green dot, and does he even make the team?
I think Roseboom would have been on the team. I think Josie Jewell would have been the guy with the green dot for sure.
So with Roseboom being the guy with the green dot, that means that there's a learning curve for him with the communication. And also, are him and Trevin Wallace on the same page on certain things? So that's something else I think we should look out for too. Is how do these inside linebackers adjust to the bad game that they had in this game as well? And how does that get better moving forward? We for sure know that this is going to be an area need in this upcoming offseason. Like, you're going to have to really focus on this. But that'll be something I'll be watching out for as well. How does that get better between those two? But specifically, how does Trevin Wallace play better?
I agree. That's the linebacking core, rough day. It's the defense, just rough day as a whole. Just rough day as a whole. Let's just be better.
Shout outs to JC Horn. Shout outs to Michael Jackson.
Yo, that pick, man. Like, I don't think we praised that thing enough. That was a hell of a damn play.
And look, Mike Jackson almost had him one too.
I know.
Okay.
Talk about what ifs, man. I was like, well, what if he comes down with it? But
he said to me the what ifs.
Yeah, I know.
In the off season, he
said
to me what ifs. So I'm sure he's kicking himself for that.
Margin of error that thin, folks. But guess what? Make sure you subscribe. We'll have another episode for y'all Sunday after Arizona, Carolina. Again, that's a 4:00 Eastern kickoff, or 4:05, whatever it is. 4:00 Eastern kickoff. So anyway, we'll have another episode for you guys. What's that?
I like those 1:00s.
Me too.
Yeah.
Me too.
Yeah.
And we like you. So again, you leave your thoughts in the comments. By the way, over 700 comments on our last video. Wow. Well over 700.
You guys had some things to say.
Yeah, trust me, they did.
You guys had some things to say.
Trust me, they did. They did. I was trying to you know what? I don't know if I can read all of these. I got through about 400 of them.
God bless you. God bless you.
Trust me, we pay attention, people.
Yeah.
Y'all be good.